Hello, I'm Michael Bybee. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and joining us to discuss some of the programs and services offered at the Houston Area Women's Center is President and CEO Rebecca White. Rebecca, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So 74% of Texans have either been personally affected and or know somebody who's been affected by domestic violence. That's staggering.
It is indeed. It is a community problem, and that's why we do Domestic Violence Awareness Month every year, to raise awareness about the issue, to talk about how our community can be involved in both supporting those who are experiencing it, as well as working to prevent the violence before it starts.
That's huge. I mean, that's a huge component as well as preventing it before it starts. These are things that are happening right here in our neighborhoods, right here, not only in Houston, but across the country. Talk a little bit about what the center does, some of the programs and services that you guys provide.
We offer a wide variety of services. Our goal is to help individuals who have experienced domestic and sexual violence in their efforts to move their lives forward. So we provide crisis intervention, shelter, counseling, and other supportive services and advocacy to support them in building lives free from the violence they've suffered.
Can you define domestic violence?
Yes, I'd be happy to. Domestic violence occurs when an individual in a personal relationship engages in behaviors intended to exert power and control over the other partner. And we tend to think of domestic violence being, oh, that's a black eye or bruises, broken bones, but really domestic violence can run the gamut from emotional to verbal to spiritual, financial, sexual, and then, of course, physical violence. So it occurs across a broad spectrum.
And see, I had thought, like you had said, most people think it's domestic violence, it's a black eye or something.
Yes.
That's clearly what I thought of, but not the case. So do you see a lot of people coming in or obviously affected by all the different types of domestic violence like you had described?
We do. We deal with individuals who have experienced all of those, some of them only one, some of them all of them simultaneously. It's important to know we tend to think of, oh, domestic violence happens to someone else,
right,
the other. But really it affects everyone. It does not know racial or geographic or demographic boundaries of any sort. It affects all socioeconomic brackets.
Talk a little bit about, you had mentioned earlier, the preventing. How could someone prevent domestic violence?
Well, it starts with awareness, with understanding what violence is and what the underlying causes are, and then working to change the sort of underlying beliefs that support behaviors that basically condone and perpetuate violence.
Are you seeing success? Some success stories, just as I understand it, again, I'm fairly naive as far as, is it cyclical? Are the same people, I mean, that you're kind of prone to be a victim of domestic violence kind of coming around?
I wouldn't say someone is prone to being a victim. The person who makes the choice about domestic violence is the perpetrator.
Right.
So what we want to do is to get to perpetrators before they become perpetrators.
Sure.
And we do that by working with youth in schools. The younger we can start delivering these messages about what healthy relationships look like and how to resolve differences and how to feel powerful without exerting power and control over another individual, the better. That's how we stop perpetrators from becoming perpetrators. Another way we do that is by working with the children of domestic violence. They are often the unseen victims.
Sure.
And what we know is that kids learn what they see, and they are far more likely to grow up to become either perpetrators or victims themselves. So if we can address those kids at the time it's happening, get them out of those violent environments and talk to them about what healthy relationships are, all the better.
Makes all the sense in the world to me. Rebecca, great talking with you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Sure. To learn more about the Houston Area Women's Center and other Newsmakers segments, visit ComcastNewsmakers.com. I'm Michael Bybee.